Welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory, and we are continuing our progress here on our mega base, our mega factory. And in the last episode, we finished our plastic and our rubber production coming in to our main factory area. Well, now it's time to dive into aluminum. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Alright, so now it's time to be focusing on our aluminum production, and I'm just en route. I went and did a little searching for some bauxite and where the best place would be to be able to set up our aluminum factory. And basically what I want to do is I'm going to have a separate factory that's going to be making our aluminum ingots, and then I'll transport the aluminum ingots back to our main factory that is over here, where all of the main manufacturing is going to be happening. So with that, we had to do a little bit of searching, and over in the kind of the swampish type biome, along the edge of it over here, there were some bauxite nodes that we came across. And to reach my goals with my factory, I do need about 840, I think it's 840 bauxite per minute to get enough aluminum that I need. Well, we were able to, or I was able to find a pure node and a normal node that were right beside each other. So we have got lots of bauxite. So I'll make enough iron ingots out of that bauxite that we've got. I do have the MK3 Miners overclocked, so they're going to be producing, one's going to be producing 780 items per minute. The other one is going to be producing 600 items per minute. And they are just over here, which as soon as I get fired out of this, whoop, they are right over here. And we'll just fly up over top of this poisonous gas cloud that's over here. The swamp has got tons of poisonous gas clouds everywhere, so you got to be a little bit careful with that. But just over here is where we have our pure and our normal nodes. And I have brought the bauxite over. So we're sitting at about 1,380 bauxite. So I'm going to make enough aluminum so that we're maxing out these two nodes that we've got here. So now it's a matter of getting everything, like I picked out this spot on this far side. We've got lots of water to be able to access for being able to make our Alumina Solution. We've got lots of real estate here that we can play with, and I've started building a pad. I just really don't know how many of the, I think it's blenders that we need to start off with. I got to double check that to make sure. But I'm not entirely sure how many of them we're going to need. So I got to do some math here and start laying that out here so that we can see our aluminum manufacturing getting built. All right, so the first phase that we've got to go through here is making the Alumina Solution, and it's going to take 11 refineries to look after the bauxite that we have here. And with thinking about the whole overall layout of everything here, I've kind of decided all of the aluminum production is going to happen on this side. We're going to take care of everything over here, and just the finished products are going to go back. Because there's things like batteries that I've got to make that are going to require making sulfuric acid, so I'm going to need more water, and I don't want to deal with shipping fluids all the way back to the main factory. So we'll just ship back the finished aluminum products from this basically aluminum production site that's going to be over here. And we've got lots of room to be able to play around with this. So right now, I've got the refinery set up here. Now I need to get up some water pumps and whatnot so that we have enough water flow coming to these. Each one of these is going to need 180 water per cubic meters of water per minute. So it's going to take a little bit of water to be able to get all of this up and running. So let me get that set up. Okay, so I have basically everything set up for the Alumina Solution side. We have 12 refineries all set up here that's going to be able to take care of the overclocked normal and overclocked pure node of bauxite that are coming through here. The tricky thing with the aluminum production plant is when we're making the aluminum scrap, which is what I've got set up on this side, is, oh, I had an autosave there, so it got a little jumpy. We've got our Alumina Solution coming off of here, which feeds into this side to be able to make our aluminum scrap. Then the aluminum scrap also has waste water that we need to make sure that we're using and getting rid of, or else the whole system shuts down. So this water needs to feed back into the feed side of our Alumina Solution, and we need to prioritize that that water gets used first before the water gets used from our water pumps that we have over here. So we have 1,320 water getting pumped from here, but we need 1,900 and some odd water coming off of, or for all of our system here to be able to function properly. So 600 plus water is coming priority from our aluminum scrap production. And the only thing I have left to do is I need to throw some, I just noticed here that I need to throw some backflow valves in so that the water pumps don't interfere with that side. And I'm going to take care of that here right away. So the other thing I need to deal with is I need to collect and gather the silica scrap that's coming off of this as well, because there is scrap silica that is going to be coming off of all of this production on this side. But it's not really scrap silica, because we're going to need that silica here in a little bit to be able to make the ingots. So it's scrap, but it's not scrap. But at this point in our production line, it's kind of a waste and we need to be dealing with it. So I'm going to throw it into an accumulation at the end here and then have it dumping into an awesome sink just until we get everything actually producing. And that way we can ensure that we have everything that we need. And the other thing that I still need to do as well is I need to get a whole pile of coal coming down here so that I can be able to make all of the scrap aluminum out of this. So we still got like tons of work to figure out here. But this is where we're at so far, is managing the water. And we've got everything that we need here to be able to get our water production right. And I just need to throw in those little check valves so that we don't end up with any backup water going into the output side of our scrap water production. So that's where we're at. What are we up to now? We've got 12, 17 refineries to be able to do this. And we're nowhere near done, the aluminum production side. So let us keep plugging away at it. All right, after a ridiculous amount of work, I was able to source a pure node of coal way off into the distance over there, and we have it running all the way back here, and I've thrown in this little conveyor system with some splitters and elevators to drop it in to be able to make our scrap aluminum. So we actually have everything in place now. All of the fluid distribution in place. So really all I need to do at this point is turn on these refineries here, because I already have these ones already ready to go, and we will be making scrap aluminum. And the last refinery is going to be saving some of the Alumina Solution for us, because we're going to need that later on to be able to make some batteries. So this one here is going to be making Alumina Solution, and all of these ones, all the rest are making our scrap aluminum. And I have that all being exported and dumped into an awesome sink when we get to that point. So we're making some progress here. Right now, this is awesome sinking our silica, so that's what's going to be dumped into here. And then, I guess I still need to... Oh, yeah, and I have all the awesome sinks set up for the scrap aluminum to be able to get dumped in until we're ready to actually be using the scrap aluminum. So why don't I fire all of this up, and we can actually see how this is going to work for us. Alrighty, so we have fired up everything. Everything is now running. But before I dive into really explaining how it's all working and whatnot, I have had to completely revamp my fluid distribution. My fluid, like I fired the system up once already, and I was like starving out some of these with fluid and getting too much fluid at times, and then these refineries would end up backing up and wouldn't be working because they'd be, trying to get waste water out of them, and it wasn't flowing through properly. So I completely reworked how I'm managing the water flow that's coming into these. So let me just kind of explain what's happened. So I've kind of basically broken up these refineries into groups of 2 along here. So each group of 2 requires 360 water to be able to do what they need to do. Because each one is 180 water per minute for being able to make the Alumina Solution. So 2 of them together, of course, is 360. And then if we look at the output side, both of these can combine enough Alumina Solution to run one of these aluminum scrap refinery systems here. Now, as a waste byproduct, this is putting out 120 cubic meters of water. So we're taking the 120 cubic meters of water, and I experience a little bit of lag here. I got a lot of artifacts or a lot of items, entities are all flowing around me here all at once while I'm in this working. But anyhow, we've got 120 cubic meters of water that is flowing back over here. And I put a check valve in here so that it doesn't backflow at all. And then that's feeding in. And these are accepting 120 cubic meters from the output wastewater from our aluminum scrap manufacturer. So that means we still need 240. Well, that's exactly 2 water pumps worth of water. So I set up 2 water pumps worth of water. It comes up, and I've got it set up on a small fluid buffer here. And this is just kind of managing any excess flows that are happening. It just kind of keeps a reserve. And initially, I was able to fill this right up before I turned it on because these were pulling out more water than what was being produced, because until this actually put out some Alumina Solution, we weren't getting the water waste out of this one. So having this fluid buffer in there just kind of made the difference to be able to keep the system running efficiently. So now each group of 2 of these is also fed by 2 water pumps, and then those 2 water pumps, and then of course the 1 refinery that's at the other side. So all in all, this is now segmented into 3 refinery chunks. 2 of them are for making the aluminum solution, 1 for aluminum scrap. Come over here, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, and that's all the way down the line here. Now I don't have any fluid issues. We've got a nice steady buffer of fluid happening. Everything is working seamlessly. The materials are all flowing into the machine, and we're not starving out anything as it's running, and we're not getting any backed up waste. We have our steady stream of silica being dumped into an awesome sink over here, because of course we now have like a full storage of it. And if I didn't have them dumping into an awesome sink, obviously these machines here would back up, because then there'd be silicone stuck to the ceiling and we wouldn't be able to get any production out of them. As well as I have all of the aluminum scrap right now getting dumped into an awesome sink as well, until I'm ready to actually be working with the aluminum scrap to be able to make ingots and so on and so forth into alclad aluminum sheeting and aluminum casing. So one other thing here is right now, if we come over here, you'll see that I have 1 of these water pumps. It is currently set to the off position. And it is also set to produce just about 90 cubic meters of water. And that is going to be because of this last refinery. It's taking the leftover bauxite, which is about 60 items per minute, is what's coming into here. So I have it underclocked to 50% to be able to produce a little bit of Alumina Solution for us that's going to be used in our battery manufacturing when we get to that point. So that's how everything is now working out here. So the water pump situation is all basically split up into individual chunks. Rather than trying to drive all the water through one big buffer system, I'm like, you know what? It's just being too difficult to manage. We're just going to segment this into 6 little chunks of water distribution, and now it works perfectly. And it's cooking along at a great pace. Like if you look at our bauxite flow here, it's all moving pretty steady. Of course, It pauses a bit as it's consuming 120 bauxite per minute on each of the nodes, but then it just fires up and gets running again. Our coal distribution working seamlessly as well too. We have just a little bit over the amount of coal we actually need, and that is all for our aluminum scrap refining. So that is where we are at so far with our aluminum manufacturing. Now the big question is, okay, where do I go from here? What's the next step? Do I start to make the aluminum ingots? I think that might be our next move here, is expanding out now to be able to manufacture our aluminum ingots. And I think I could probably get that done in this episode. But while we're thinking about this right now, quickly guys, reach down and hit that subscribe button and click the like button on the video. That would be amazing if you could do that. About 9% of you are subscribed. That means that 91% of you that are watching my videos right now are not subscribed to my channel. So reach down, click that subscribe button. I would be forever grateful. With that said, I'm going to now work at getting our plant laid out here for making our aluminum ingots. All right, so the plan for the iron ingots is iron ingots are run through a refinery by combining silica and aluminum scrap. Well, we're making enough aluminum scrap right now to be able to handle 22 refineries making aluminum ingots. Now that's going to require 1,675 silica to be able to do that, and 1,980 aluminum scrap. 1,980 aluminum scrap, we've got that. That's what we're making right now. Currently, right now, we're only making 575 silica here. So we need to bring down like almost another 1,100 worth of silica from, so we've got to find some quartz that we've got to then manufacture down to be able to make our silica. I've thrown one of these foundries down here so that we can see what all it takes to make the aluminum ingots. And it's 90 aluminum scrap per minute and 75 silica per minute. I believe in total I need 22 foundries set up to be able to handle all of the materials that we've got here. And it works out to an equal balance for all of our aluminum scrap that we have coming off to how many of these units we end up needing. So we're going to be totally set up that way, and then I will just feed in all of the silica that we need into those 22 units, and we should be ready to go making our aluminum ingots. So that's the next phase that I'm going to branch out here. Our aluminum manufacturing, our ingot manufacturing is going to be just built out this way. And yeah, 22 foundries here in a little bit, and we'll have it all set up. Alrighty, I think we've got everything pretty much done on the aluminum side here for now. One thing that I did discover is I did get an alternate recipe out of one of the hard drives for me to be able to make a battery without having to use sulfuric acid and Alumina Solution. So now we've managed to just take these this Alumina Solution that I had over here, and I've just fed it in line to make more aluminum scrap and added it to our aluminum manufacturing. And this here is our aluminum ingot construction. We have 23 foundries in total is what it ended up taking to be able to get this all taken care of. So we're there being fed with aluminum scrap and also silica, and our silica production of course is all over here, and we're getting that nicely distributed along all of these foundries here. So the output from this, it works out to almost 2 full conveyors worth. We're getting like one conveyor at 780 items, and I think another one that's I want to say like 400 items. I'd have to figure out the math exactly, but it's pretty close. And we've got those feeding all the way back to our main base, all the way back along this pathway that we've got here. So we'll do the rest of our aluminum manufacturing, so the batteries, the casings, the alclad aluminum sheeting. We're going to be able to do that all at our other factory, the mega factory at the other side there. So aluminum production, fully functional. It took quite a bit. 18 refineries, 12 water extractors, 30 constructors, and 23 foundries, as well as miles and miles and miles of conveyors. I think a total of 4 MK3 miners, all just to be able to build this aluminum manufacturing facility that's over here. All of this supports what our plans are with the mega base. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Next episode, I think we'll actually start building some of the components that we need to build. I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Other than that, I think this is pretty much about as far as we can get on this one. So reach down, hit that like button on the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I've uploaded a new video. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and that's at TerrisDWDC. But until next time, you have yourself a good one.